Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Before continuing, please review the legal disclaimer provided in the comments section of this video and make sure to see the video till the end to get a full understanding of how it all works. On this channel, we share practical guidance on visa processes, immigration pathways, investment and citizenship options, and related topics to help you make informed decisions. If you are unsure about your visa options or planning your next step, consider subscribing and enabling notifications so you stay updated with the latest developments. Imagine this: you finally decide to visit Europe, Paris, Rome, Amsterdam, Barcelona, Santorini, Swiss Alps, Venice, Prague, Vienna, the dream European trip. You start planning everything: flights, hotels, train journeys, food, shopping, photos, experiences. Then suddenly, visa refused. And the shocking truth is this: most Schengen visa refusals happen because of avoidable mistakes. Not because people were poor, not because they lacked education, not because they came from the wrong country, but because they misunderstood how the Schengen visa system actually works. And in this complete masterclass, you are going to learn everything, not from one country's perspective, but from a real global perspective, based on the latest Schengen visa procedures and European border changes in 2026. In this video, we are going to cover what the Schengen visa actually is, how the Schengen area works, how to choose the correct embassy, how to prepare strong documents, how to prove finances properly, how sponsorships work, how interviews and biometrics work, how the new European entry-exit system changes travel, what ETIAS means for future travelers, the biggest refusal mistakes, and what smart applicants do differently. Stay until the end, because there is one massive mistake involving bank statements and fake travel bookings that destroys thousands of Schengen visa applications every single year. Let's begin. First, let's understand what the Schengen area actually is. The Schengen area is a group of European countries that removed internal border checks between participating countries. That means once you enter the Schengen area legally, you can usually travel between participating countries without going through passport control again. This is why the Schengen visa is so powerful. One visa can potentially allow access to many European countries. Countries commonly associated with Schengen include France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Greece, Switzerland, Austria, Portugal, Belgium, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, and many others. Now here is something extremely important. Not all European countries are part of Schengen. Everything is evaluated through that lens, and this is where many applicants fail because they think the visa process is only about documents. But the U.S. system is heavily based on credibility and immigration intent. Now let's talk about who actually needs a tourist visa. Some nationalities can travel to the United States under the Visa Waiver Program using ESTA authorization. Others must apply for the full B1, B2 visitor visa through a U.S. embassy or consulate. And here is something important in 2026. The United States has tightened scrutiny around interview waivers and visitor visa renewals in many countries. So many applicants who previously avoided interviews may now need in-person interviews again. Never assume older visa rules still apply. Now let's talk about the biggest mindset shift applicants need to understand. The U.S. visitor visa is not approved because you want to travel. Millions want to travel. The visa is approved when the officer believes you are a genuine temporary visitor with strong reasons to return home. That difference changes everything. Now let's move into the actual process. Step 1 is completing the DS-160 form. This form is one of the most important parts of the entire application. And here's the truth. Huge numbers of applicants damage their own cases because of careless DS-160 mistakes. The DS-160 is your official visa application. Everything must be accurate. Your employment history, your salary, your travel history, your social media details, your family information, your travel purpose, your intended stay, everything matters. And here is something extremely important. Your DS-160 answers must match your interview answers. Inconsistencies create suspicion immediately. Now let's talk about a mistake many applicants make. They rush through the DS-160 in one night. Bad idea. You should review every answer carefully before submission. Even small inconsistencies can become stressful during interviews. Some applicants later discover errors and create updated DS-160 forms before interviews. Accuracy matters enormously. Now let's discuss appointment scheduling. After submitting the DS-160 and paying the visa fee, applicants normally schedule biometric appointments and visa interviews depending on local embassy procedures. And here is where global reality hits hard. In some countries, interview wait times can become extremely long, months, sometimes over a year, especially in high-demand locations. This is why smart applicants plan early, very early. Now let's talk about biometrics. Most applicants provide fingerprints and photographs during the visa process. This biometric data becomes part of U.S. immigration and security systems. Now comes the most important stage, the interview. This is where the U.S. system becomes very different from many other countries. For many applicants, the interview is everything. And here is the biggest misconception people have. They think the visa officer is trying to trap them. Usually the officer is simply trying to quickly determine whether your story is believable. That is it. And here is something important. Many interviews last only a few minutes, sometimes even less. So your application must already look strong before you walk to the counter. Now let's discuss what visa officers are actually evaluating. First is your purpose of travel. Your trip should sound realistic. Simple tourism, family visit, attending events, short business meetings, vacation, clear and believable. Second is your financial situation. Can you realistically afford your trip? And here is something extremely important. Visa officers are not only checking whether you have money, they are checking whether your financial life makes sense. That difference changes everything. Sudden large deposits before application are massive red flags. Borrowed money temporarily parked in your account often gets noticed. What matters more is consistency, stable income, regular salary deposits, business activity, tax history, savings patterns. These things create credibility. Now let's discuss employment and ties to home country. This is one of the biggest factors in U.S. visitor visa approvals. The officer wants to know, why will this person return home? Strong employment, business ownership, property, family responsibilities, ongoing studies, career stability. All these things can strengthen your case. Everything should point toward one major message. You have strong reasons to leave the United States after your trip. Now let's discuss travel history. Previous international travel can help. If you have traveled legally to countries like the UK, Canada, Schengen Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Singapore, or similar destinations and complied with immigration rules, it may strengthen your credibility. But here is something important. No travel history does not automatically mean refusal. Strong overall credibility still matters most. Now let's discuss sponsorships. This is one of the most misunderstood areas of U.S. tourist visas. Many people think having a sponsor automatically guarantees approval. Wrong. Even if someone in the US offers to pay for your trip, the visa officer still wants to know whether you personally are a genuine temporary visitor. Strong sponsors cannot automatically fix weak applications. And here is another important truth. Applicants who appear overly dependent on unknown sponsors sometimes create additional concerns. Now let's discuss invitation letters. People often obsess over invitation letters, and fake documentation can seriously damage future immigration opportunities globally. Never use fake documents, not fake bank statements, not fake hotel bookings, not fake employment letters, not fake tax records. One fraud finding can follow you for years. Now we come to one of the biggest visa approval factors, financial proof. This is where huge numbers of Schengen applications fail. And here's the critical thing most applicants misunderstand. Visa officers are not only checking whether you have money, they are checking whether your financial story makes sense. That difference changes everything. Sudden large deposits before application are massive red flags. Borrowed money temporarily parked in your account often gets noticed immediately. What matters more is consistency, stable income, regular salary credits, business activity, savings patterns, tax records, long-term financial behavior. These things build trust. The embassy wants to understand your real financial life, not a temporary version created 2 weeks before applying. And here is another major truth. A modest but stable financial profile is often stronger than a huge suspicious balance. Now let's discuss employment proof. If you are employed, you usually provide employment letters, leave approval, salary slips, and evidence you are expected back at work. If you own a business, business registration documents, tax records, and company activity become important. If you are self-employed or freelance, stable professional activity matters greatly. If you are retired, pension records may help. If you are a student, enrollment documents and sponsorship evidence are usually required. Everything should point toward one major message. You have strong reasons to return home. Now let's discuss travel insurance. This is mandatory for Schengen visas. Your insurance must generally cover emergency medical treatment, hospitalization, and repatriation throughout the Schengen area. And here is where many applicants make careless mistakes. Their insurance dates do not match their travel dates, or the insurance does not cover all Schengen countries. Always double-check every detail carefully. Now let's discuss sponsorships. Suppose a friend or family member in Europe is supporting your trip. In that case, you may need invitation letters and sponsorship documentation depending on embassy requirements. Some countries also use formal sponsorship systems where hosts officially accept financial responsibility for visitors. But here is something important. A sponsor cannot magically fix a weak application. The applicant still needs to appear genuine and credible. Now let's discuss cover letters. This is one of the most underrated parts of the application. A strong cover letter helps connect all your documents into one logical story. Your cover letter should explain why you want to visit Europe, your intended travel dates, who is funding your trip, your employment or personal background, and why you will return home after your visit. Keep it professional, simple, clear, truthful, do not exaggerate. Now let's discuss biometrics. Most Schengen visa applicants provide fingerprints and photographs during the application process. And with the new entry-exit system now operational across Schengen borders, biometric tracking has become even more important. Your entries and exits are now digitally recorded. That means overstays are becoming much easier to detect automatically. Now comes the waiting period, and this is where patience matters. Some applicants receive decisions quickly, others wait weeks depending on season, embassy workload, and additional checks. Peak summer travel periods often create delays. Now let's discuss one of the most important sections of this entire video, the top reasons Schengen visas get refused. This section alone could save your application. Number 1 is weak proof of ties to home country. If the embassy believes you may overstay or not return home, refusal risk increases immediately. Number 2 is suspicious financial activity, large unexplained deposits, weak banking history, inconsistent income, temporary balances, fake sponsorships. These create serious red flags. Number 3 is fake documentation. This is catastrophic. Fake bank statements, fake employment letters, fake hotel bookings, fake tax records. Never do this. Number 4 is inconsistent information. Your application form, itinerary, financial records, travel plans, and interview answers must all align naturally. Number 5 is unrealistic travel plans. Your trip should make sense. Now, here is a major psychological insight. Visa officers review thousands of applications every year. They become extremely skilled at spotting risk patterns very quickly. Your goal is not to impress them. Your goal is to appear genuine, stable, organized, and transparent. That is what successful applications usually look like. Now let's discuss travel history. Previous legal travel can strengthen your profile significantly. If you have traveled legally to countries like the UK, Canada, Australia, Japan, Singapore, New Zealand, or the United States and complied with immigration rules, that may help your credibility. But no travel history does not automatically mean refusal. Strong documentation still matters most. Now let's discuss multiple entry visas. Some applicants receive single entry visas. Others receive multiple entry visas allowing repeated travel during the visa validity period. Strong travel history and compliance can sometimes improve future visa outcomes. Now let's discuss something extremely important. A visa approval does not guarantee entry. Border officers at Schengen entry points can still ask questions when you arrive. Carry copies of your hotel bookings, insurance, return ticket, and proof of funds while traveling. Most genuine tourists experience no problems, but preparation matters. Now let's discuss one dangerous mistake applicants keep making: copy-paste applications. Thousands of people use identical itineraries, invitation letters, cover letters, and explanations copied from the internet. Visa officers recognize these patterns immediately. Your application should reflect your real situation, real work, real finances, real travel plans, real intentions. Authenticity matters far more than fancy wording. Now let's talk about ETIAS, because this will affect millions of future travelers. ETIAS is expected to launch later in 2026 for many visa-exempt travelers entering Europe. This system will require eligible travelers from visa-exempt countries to obtain online authorization before traveling to Europe. But here is something important. ETIAS is not a visa. Travelers who already require Schengen visas will still continue using the visa system. And according to current European timelines, ETIAS will begin only after the entry-exit system becomes fully stabilized. Now, let's discuss practical approval strategies experienced travelers often follow. Apply early, keep documents organized, use realistic travel plans, maintain stable financial activity before applying, avoid fake documents completely, be honest during interviews, and never assume approval is automatic. Schengen countries are increasingly using advanced digital border systems and biometric tracking. That means credibility and compliance matter more than ever. Now let's answer some common questions people ask. Can unemployed applicants get approved? Sometimes yes, especially with strong sponsorship and genuine circumstances. Can freelancers apply? Absolutely, but freelancers should show stable professional activity and financial consistency. Can students apply? Yes, but students often need strong sponsorship and proof of continuing studies. Can previous visa refusals affect future Schengen applications? Yes, but refusals do not automatically destroy future chances if the earlier issues are properly addressed. Can you work in Europe using a Schengen tourist visa? Generally, no. Tourist visas are for temporary visits and tourism purposes. Unauthorized work can create serious immigration consequences. And finally, here is the biggest truth about Schengen visa approvals. Most successful applications are actually very ordinary, not flashy, not dramatic, not perfect, just believable. A genuine traveler with realistic plans, stable finances, clear documentation, and strong reasons to return home. That combination wins approvals again and again. So if Europe is on your dream travel list for 2026, start preparing early, stay organized, and focus on credibility over perfection. Because one honest and well-prepared application is far more powerful than a thick folder full of random paperwork, and you have come to the right place to get all your visa applications sorted in a hassle-free and professional manner. We can help you to get the entire process done correctly and make your dream trip to any destination in the world easier than you think. Make sure to get in touch with is on our WhatsApp mobile numbers, no matter which part of the world you are in, and do subscribe, like, and share our channel to get many more interesting updates. Thank you for watching and have a safe journey. Call us now on +64 221 786 007 or +91 73786 00791.